What good comes out of having kids? What it boils down to is either you are a person who gets a massive emotional payout from parenting, or you're not. They are either a source of joy simply by being, or they aren't. There really aren't a lot of purely practical ways they can improve your life. Literally everything will become more complex, harder. But just being there with them is a massive serotonin hit, or it isn't. If it's there, your life will revolve around them and it will be wonderful. If not, your life will revolve around them and it will be a level of stress and depression that you could not before fathom. Kidneys, mostly, if things go badly when I am older. You have to really want it, and it's absolutely fine if you don't. I hate the expectation that you will have kids one day. Also the expectation that you will have more than one. There's so much sacrifice involved, and the number of kids is the amount of extra you are willing to sacrifice. The reward for me was unlocking a level of love I didn't know existed. It's impossible to explain the depth and intensity of the love I feel for my daughter. Maybe some people can experience that without having kids. However, I absolutely would not have done. And I know that. My life feels like there is more to it, and that I'm a more rounded and complete person. And that's pretty good. Well, my mom resents me. She said I ruined her life and that she wishes I would have been a miscarriage. Then, she'll berate me for choosing to not have kids. It's definitely not for everyone. Jay Pritchett said it best. You fall in love with this baby and the adorable little fat folds. Then one day, that baby is gone, but it's okay. In its place is a little toddler with the most magical and contagious laugh you've ever heard. Then, one day they're gone and replaced with this little kid that asks the most wide-eyed and interesting questions. This continues for years. But you never get a chance to miss any of those kids, because every time they're replaced with a new kid that's great in their own way. Until one day, they all walk out the door at the same time. It seems sad on the surface. But really you get to create a little human to be in your family. You provide love and support, and teach empathy and generosity. You hope one day, when they leave you, they walk into the world and make it a little more loving, supportive, and generous. And then you leave the porch light on for when they come back to visit. It's not for everyone, but for those it's the most exhausting, terrifying, exhilarating, fulfilling, and worthwhile experience. As someone who does not have or want kids, and is 40 plus, there will come a time in your life where you think about the future a lot. Where you wonder about getting old, loneliness, what you'll do for money, and even if you'll ever be remembered once you're dead. For many people, kids are the solution to these problems. And in the short term, many people love having families and raising the next generation. It also forces you to take on more responsibility and generally be a better person, if you do it right. Personally, I never wanted the hassle, and I was never interested. But getting older, I'm realizing more that if I lose my partner, I will have a very lonely future. And when I die, that will absolutely be the end. There's nothing to carry on my line, so to speak. Personally, I wouldn't want a kid to go through my problems. So it's okay. I got pregnant with my son when I was an 18-year-old suicidal drug addict headed for a very early grave. In many ways I believe he saved my life. I know it's cliché to believe everything happens for a reason, but I very likely wouldn't be here if not for him. I'm 26 now. I'm a solo homeowner, a very hard worker. I do everything in my power to give him, and by extension, myself, a good life. People say you give up a lot when you have kids. For the first couple of years that was true in many ways. My body is certainly not the same, but I love it now more than I ever have. Money will likely always be tight, But I have a much better job than I did before I had him. And I have plans to continue my education soon. I've found myself and my identity beyond being mom in the past year or two. I have hobbies, a social life, and although I stay busy, I think I've found balance and peace in life. I suppose I did put my life on pause, but I have since hit play again. Having kids isn't for everyone, and I think it's very valid to not want them. I did not want children before I had my son. And I don't want any more. I feel guilt about bringing a child into the world we're currently living in. However, I'd have felt more guilt if I terminated my pregnancy. He was unplanned. In case you hadn't picked up on that. Having children drastically alters the course of your life and the ways you believe it would play out. And that's just not what many people want. And that's perfectly okay too. I make my son cut the grass. Do not have children if you don't want to. Have children if you want to. Neither path requires a 95 thesis to rationalize or justify. The part one didn't expect when I had kids is that they are my favorite people in the world. Tied with my wife. Of course. Because of that, I don't really mind that all my free time goes to them. I'd rather spend my time with the people I love than going on an exotic trip or partying at a bar. When you begin, you have these cute little cuddly babies. You get to see young toddler try to make sense of the world. You get to share your interests with a little person. You get to share your ideas and beliefs with another person. You get to teach them about the world. When they're older, you get a younger person that wants to spend time with you. You help them, they help you. You have more people in your life that love you and that you love. And yes, it's a lot of work. But aren't most things that are worth it? You've made more people like yourself to put out into the world. Do you have a pet? What good comes out of a pet? My hobbies weren't put on hold, and now that my son is older, we actually share many of the same hobbies, e.g. working on cars. The time we spend doing that is lots of fun, and I get to teach him all of the wisdom I've acquired over the years. If you go into having kids with all the negative thoughts like they're so expensive, they consume all of your time, etc., you're likely never going to enjoy them because you see them as blocking your ambitions. When I say that I don't want kids, all I hear from parents is, but who will pay for your pension, and who is going to take care of you when you get older? So basically, kids are a retirement plan. Once you have them, they pretty much become your whole life. All your extra money, your sleep, your sanity, your, for women, body, your hobbies are put on hold. Yes, but once you have them, they are pretty much your reason to live. They make you happy, proud on a level that nothing can beat. Maybe I'm simplifying it too much. But it's really not that bad. It's not always easy and it's not always fun. But really, as long as you're stable and ready, and even if you're not ready but trying to learn, things tend to work out. I only say this because parent culture nowadays is really weird with the whole enjoy your care free life. BC, it's over once you have kids. You can still be your own person and have hobbies. You just need to put a little more thought into it and maybe plan ahead a little more than you normally would. I guess the love is the best thing that comes from having kids. Kids have this pure love that honestly make you feel unworthy of having. The bonding and the love heals you. There's nothing else like it. But I'm glad I got to enjoy life before I had my child. I had a carefree 20s, graduated college and started good career. I had my child when I turned 30 and I have absolutely no life anymore. But I had my decade of partying and fun in my 20s, so it's all good. When I grab my 3-year-old's big chubby foot and put it to my ear and say hello stinky toes, and he dies of laughter, lol, that's what makes awesome. It's so different for everyone. Not sure anyone can give you an answer that can benefit you because we all have kids from different positions. I had mine at 40. So my experience is going to be so different from most for me. The good? I have a lot of fun with my kid. So it is like having a new friend. We joke. We laugh. Because I raised her, we have a lot of some of the same likes and dislikes and outlook on life and people. A few times she has done something that has made me feel pure unadulterated pride. What a feeling. It's unbeatable. Having a kid has made me a bit more responsible. I have also learned a lot about psychology and well-being. I had no clue what growth mindset was before my kid. I've picked up some new hobbies that I would have never experienced without my kid. Like things that are a big part of my life now. I've met some real great people, parents that I would have never met before. Buying stuff. I like buying stuff for my kid. Feels good. I don't typically spend much on myself, but I get her stuff all the time. Lol. I become a lot healthier. I want her to be healthy, so I've had to walk the walk there. If your friends know you don't want kids and still say to you, enjoy life before you have kids, they are negatively judging your life choices. Only you can decide whether you want kids or not. To me, not one thing about having kids appeals to me, and I'm definitely not having kids. I'm 30. But a lot of people seem to think it's worth it because of love and family. I don't. You don't have to have kids if you don't want to. Join some child-free groups and talk to some like-minded people.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.